I'm here with Rizwana and Suzanne. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So good to have you. I'm here with HR for the right reasons. Right?
Well said. Well said.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes.
Okay.
So let's kick off with what's it really like working at Capitec?
So firstly, I must say I have probably one of the best jobs ever around.
Yeah.
And the opportunity to really work with 18,000 people in our organization, I think is one that is absolutely phenomenal. What is it really like here at Capitec? I think it all boils down to our CEO values and our lead better behaviors, which is the real foundation of who we are as Capitec. And what does that mean in very simple words? It's really about making sure that we have the vision and the long-term purposeful thinking in place. It's about making sure that we have the strong bias for action, the extreme ownership of making sure every single thing that we do is done for the best interest or in the best interest of our 25 million clients. For me, that is actually super crucial.
For me personally, and I think for a lot of our employees, Capitec is not just a job. It's part of our being, it's part of our DNA, it's part of who we are. You know, I got married whilst I was working at Capitec, had my first child at Capitec, made long-lasting friendships at Capitec. And it really, when we talk about the Capitec family, it rings true.
What do you look for when you screening prospective high-quality talent?
We have a deep commitment to delivery. We have a deep commitment to make sure that we serve our clients, which means that when we go into our hiring process, there are slight nuances that we really do consider. First and foremost, we think about purpose-driven. You know, typically when people apply, it's like, okay, do I match the skills?
Yes.
How many years of experience do I have? But essentially, what we look for is we look for the unicorn amongst unicorns. And yes, it's a tough expectation.
Yeah.
But it's because we know the deep commitment that we have internally. Typically, people thrive at Capitec if you are curious, you are highly adaptable, you are resilient, you have grit to stand up, you have the courage to fail and try again tomorrow. But we look for that X factor where we can say this is somebody that has the same purpose or values that we do to make sure we serve our clients, but also really make a meaningful difference in the lives of others. And that's not always easy, but it's something that we thrive on.
Culture is the number one thing that we have to actually recruit for. And even if you look at the way we go through our first round of CV reviews, it starts with a culture first assessment, because that is the foundation of whether this is indeed the right place for you or not, and whether you are the right fit for a business like ours. We are super clear that this is a high performance environment, you know, and it also, we also run a very, very tight ship, so which means every single person who's appointed has to pull their weight. There's no space for passengers.
Take me through some of the really cool programs, developments, projects that you have for existing employees to really help them ratchet up and get to that next level.
The day we say yes to you, we're not just offering you a job, we're offering you a career. And we often hope that it's actually a lifetime career. A lot depends on exactly what the individual actually brings to the table. But for me, what's most important is that if you come in to do a particular role, the opportunities to actually grow and help your career prosper are actually endless. Because we are a growing business, which means that the new opportunity is coming up all the time. It's also, if you just think about the world is changing at such a fast pace. So to be able to actually get exposure to new and different things also helps you keep pace with what's going on in the world. So how do we do this? We do this through a number of different ways. One of the things, and I'll let Suzanne speak about in a little bit more details, that we're super proud of is, for example, our internal mobility initiative. Because that has really allowed us to take individuals from our branches and our business support teams and move them into technology positions or other positions in head office without having had that experience before. And why do we know that they would be the right people? Because They have been in client-facing roles. They understand the client better than anyone else. And all we need to do is give them the skills to actually make sure that they can do a role at head office. So that is something that I'm super proud of.
What we've been able to do really well over the last couple of years is also to create career paths for those in specialist roles as well as for those in leadership. I think so often people feel like, the only way that I'm going to grow hierarchically is if I go into a leadership type role. And we have our centers of mastery within our technology environment. So there's a crafted career path where you can progress around a software engineer level 1, level 2, level 3, that's also supported by our skills academies, as Rizwana has shared. We have if you choose to go into a leadership role, we have a fantastic leadership academy that helps around mastery programs as well as accelerated programs that brings our succession planning to life. And I think that we are in such a privileged position where we now are starting to looking at the cross-functional, and that's where the internal mobility initiative comes in, because we know that it's not always linear. And cross-functionally, we take, as Rizwana mentioned, employees from our branch network over into technology. But what makes this program truly special and unique is that we commit an opportunity for you afterwards. So we select in annually 50 of our employees, and for a 12-month period, we teach you the new skill and the new role whilst you still earn your salary. And at the end of the year, we commit to a new opportunity, and not in a technical advisory capability, but actually in a scarce and critical skill, whether that be Salesforce, engineering, data analyst, business analyst. And we've run that program now for 3 years, and we've had 100% absorption rate.
Wow. Throughout the conversation, you also alluded to the importance of having diversity in thought.
Yes.
Right, and an all-encompassing, overarching view of diversity across relocation, people from different geographies, people with disabilities, people with different genders, etc. And take me through some of those really cool programs and projects that you have that are very deliberate in getting diversity that cuts across multiple levels and not just the singular view of what diverse constitutes.
So maybe just to further build on the topic of inclusion and diversity, the one thing that I also want to add is the fact that, all things said and done with the diversity of thought and, new and different ways of thinking and the way we approach this, but amidst all of this, representation is still key for us. So we need to make sure that our overall Capitec staff at every level of the organization is representative of the communities that we serve.
Got you.
And that for us is actually super important for us. And there's an intense amount of work that has been done over the last few years with extreme support from our most senior leaders in the business to really make sure that we continue to drive that journey going forward. Be it in terms of the employee resource groups that we have, in terms of more female representation at senior levels, our people with disability groups, so that we actually have the right environment for people with disabilities, etc. So those things are definitely in play amidst everything else that we do from a more inclusive environment point of view.
What advice do you have to the entire pool of unemployed youth that are constantly applying, and it's often demoralizing when you're actually unsuccessful for a long period of time on breaking in?
Sure, that's actually a very tough one. But I think the starting point is actually you've got to be yourself. The point that Suzanne alluded to earlier around authenticity, you can't be anyone but yourself. And the moment you try and be someone different to who you really are, that's the stuff that really gets you into trouble, because how do you actually sustain that going forward? So I think that's the first part. The second thing is you never have to come across in an interview as someone who knows it all. What you have to do is come across as someone who is curious and extremely willing to learn. And then the third thing is, let's not underestimate life experience, because life experience plays a massive role in terms of how you respond to things in the workplace.
That's great advice.
I think from my side, 2 points, and it links to what Rizwana has shared. Be proud of your story. and come and share it as part of the interview conversation, or whether it's part of your CV. And then I also think a shout out and an ask to everybody who does recruitment. There's a responsibility on us that when we form part of that panel conversation, to set the person up to be able to be themselves, to bring their best forward in that specific session. You know, talent and good talent, it's hard to come by. So there's a responsibility on us as employers and recruiters to give that individual the space to really show up and be themselves and put their best foot forward within the conversation.
Rizwana, Suzanne, thank you so much for an incredible interview. The case studies are next in the process, but I really appreciate you sharing your wisdom, your insights, and your knowledge. It's going to help so many people. I found it incredibly useful, and wishing you all the best for the year ahead.
Oh, thank you so much. It was fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.